Hi, it's Chris with Implied Music. Where to begin? This year we've been talking about the fundamentals of music theory, harmony and melody, what chords, what notes, how things go together. But today I want to talk about instrumental form. Instead of what notes, it's more like how notes, how to play that chord, how to break it up, how to present it in a way that fits your musical concept. Let's talk about instrumental form. Well, if this is the second or third video of mine that you've seen and you're not subscribed, clearly something's going well for you here and you're growing as a musician. Now's a great time to subscribe. It helps build the channel, support the other folks who are here. We're building a community of musicians, artists, producers, mixers who are interested in their own music, who want to understand music theory from a perspective that's useful for them. I hope this is music theory for everyone. Now, to that end, I want to talk about something that is, I think, ignored. It's called the instrumental form of harmony. Now, it's a funny expression, and it's one that my teacher used, and I've not really seen around very much, but as soon as you start thinking about it and noticing it, it's in everything. Instrumental form is how you play the chords, and I think the best way to discuss it is to just give you a bunch of examples. There are three broad categories of instrumental forms of harmony. Let's take this chord progression. A minor, F, C, G. Just so you know, I would never play them that way. I would voice the chords. An inverted A minor, F, an inverted F, C, root position, G, an inverted G. Much smoother. Those chords, as you see them on the screen and as you just heard them, are called block chords. And block chords, the idea of a block chord, it's the very first concept of instrumental form. Block chords are crucial to so many styles, and they appear in, say, synth pads or as sustaining sounds underneath, supporting other parts. Block chords don't have to be played as triads like that. We could extend the concept. For instance, I could put a C chord like this. Now that's a spread out block chord, isn't it? It's a beautiful way to play the sound. I might give that to strings. Still a block chord. That's number one. And I'll tell you what, if you're Phil Collins or any number of pop piano players, you might be very happy with that. You get it, right? Block chords are everywhere in pop music and in piano stylings. Instrumental form goes directly to style, doesn't it? You must have realized that already, just as we start talking about this. The first category is block chords. The next category is, I think I call it alternating forms. And there's a number of alternating forms, but probably the most popular one is root chord, other note from the chord, like an alternate bass note chord. This instrumental form of harmony is everywhere in a number of styles, including like instrumental forms like, you know, the rags and stuff like that. And again, pop musicians do love that. Let's use that same chord progression. So A minor, F, C. You can hear this version of the block chord in the right hand, which just played all three notes at once, has now been broken into an alternating pattern. A really powerful trick. And then, in general, the last category is arpeggios. Same concept, except I'm just going to play one note at a time. block chords may seem to be kind of boring and plain. And in fact, in like, say, a church hymnal like this one here, everything is arranged in just blocks, vertical blocks, melody on top, chords underneath. It doesn't have to be, however, so square in just a couple of chords without any preparations and dissonances. In Chopin's E minor prelude, the block chords combined with the melody on top propel us forward because the voice leading is so elegant. One note moving at a time, it creates such a beautiful, I almost can't stop, it's so gorgeous. But look at that left hand, just blocks of chords. Arpeggios are probably my favorite thing, right? And you can make a whole piece out of arpeggios. We've looked at this piece before, but listen to the gorgeous arpeggio patterns of the first prelude from the Well-Tempered Clavier. The chords could be described as C, D minor, 7, G, but Bach breaks it up. And it's one of the most famous piano pieces ever. The whole piece is nothing but that instrumental form again and again. Instrumental form goes directly to style. We recognize Joplin from that syncopation in the right hand and the steady pulse in the left. Specific regional styles also have instrumental forms that are crucial to their integrity. For instance, this bass line is associated with New Orleans, the New Orleans second line rhythm in C. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I get that bass line going and just play a chord on like 2 and 4. And you're like, I know exactly what you're talking about. In fact, that left hand becomes the foundation not only of the instrumental form, but also of the character, the style of the piece. You get the idea, right? Instrumental form is so crucial to style that we can recognize composers just by hearing a pattern. We've talked a lot about Steve Reich and Philip Glass on the channel, and I can imitate, say, Glass just by doing that 3 against 2 thing that is so, endemic to his music. And some people might be sick of it. I get that. So instrumental form doesn't have to be just about chords. You can also have weaving textures of melodies. Polyphony, the idea that multiple melodies can exist at once in the same meter or even in different meters in modern music is a pretty strong idea. And in Baroque music, it's common practice. This little melody of Handel's is answered by the left hand. So it sounds like. Etc. It goes on, and the 2 hands interact in a kind of a fun way. And I love that kind of music. It's difficult to find any contemporary music that doesn't have some recognizable instrumental form. Instrumental form goes directly to style. As an artist, you may not be conscious that you've made choices about your instrumental form, but I'd be willing to bet that you have. You use certain approaches to chords. There's things that you do comfortably in your hands or how you handle your guitar or bass. Instrumental form goes to personal style, and personal style is at the heart of what I'm most interested in music theory and in, my teaching. So as you become aware of the instrumental forms of music that you like, you can take what you admire and put down the rest. You might also consider adding something else, bring in an element of that. Could you do a hybrid instrumental form, something which incorporates alternating bass with arpeggios? Absolutely. Chopin's etudes are full of this kind of sound. And of course, virtuoso instrumentalists show off this kind of technique all the time. Well, there's a lot to think about. Instrumental form, it's a giant part of our identities as artists and as musicians. So I really hope this has been useful. Like and subscribe and ding that bell. I'll see you next time.